So welcome everybody. What I'd like to talk about today a little bit is about our foods and nutrition or nutrition and foods program. I am here today representing our career technical education programs. My name is Ethan, and I also have an instructor with me today, the incomparable Michelle Pecanino, yes, who is going to give us some fabulous insight, I'm sure, into the program. She's the coordinator and probably knows this program better than, well, I don't even know what, better than I know myself. So here we go. Let me just jump into this. So I have a couple slides I'd like to go over, but I always like to start with this one because in case anybody gets disconnected and you're interested, go ahead and take a moment to take down some information, mainly just mine, if you could scribble down the phone number. But what you're looking at here is our fast track support team for our career technical education programs. So it includes me, Sarah, who is like a duplicate of me pretty much. We do the same job. We've got Araceli, our fabulous CTE counselor who specializes in just CTE and knows all these programs like the back of her hand. She's been doing this for years. And we have Mackenzie and Autumn as well, who kind of lead and support the program. And we all work together here, as you can see in the middle there, just to help you out, to support you through your journey in the program and through Merced College in general. If you need advice or assistance, or you just need some guidance along the way because you're lost, these are the people that you would want to reach out to for assistance. We are here, and I'll talk a little bit more about us later, but just in case, write one of our numbers down in case you get disconnected. So let's just kind of jump into it. So here we go again, Ethan. God, these words, so many words on these slides. I am a blabbermouth person, so I'm going to try to go through this, but this first time I'd like to kind of talk about is like, what the heck is nutrition and foods all about, right? And so as I go through this, I'm going to kind of try to elaborate, but I might lean on Michelle a little bit because in case you don't know, the nutrition and foods program is a brand new program in our fast track. And so I have not had a whole lot of time to work with it. And so I'm still learning. So Michelle will fill in the gaps for me if I say anything wrong or, whatever. Feel free to interrupt, please. So to go through this, the nutrition and foods program, what it does is preparing students, so it'd be like you guys or anybody you know, for careers in entry-level management or supervisory. So that's something I would like to stress a little bit here to stop. So many people, I think that this program is like a culinary arts program, right? You're going to learn how to cook every fabulous thing and just like whatever you would imagine, like that's what I thought this was, right? Culinary arts, you're gonna learn how to cook and do all these things. But there is a lot of focus on supervisory role and the management side of it. The people who are planning, the people who are, probably ordering and organizing. That is a lot of what this program covers. And so that's that first area there. So it's covering these supervisory roles in the food service area, of course. And what it's trying to do is to fulfill the required training for these positions at places like acute care hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, psychiatric hospitals, other kinds of care facilities, or even in like schools, elementary schools, or places where you can imagine they would have food. Places like that, there's a lot more, but in general, those are some of the places that we would work with and that we would imagine you kind of going into. So the participants in this program, so what this actual program is built on is called a Dietetic Service Supervisor Certificate, which is very close. So how do I explain this? I guess I'll stick to this one. So Dietetic Service Supervisor. So this is a program approved by the California Department of Health. There are specific requirements you have to have in order to get this kind of certification. And there are some community colleges, and I don't know if there are other places, Michelle, but I know that there are community colleges besides us that offer this. But in general, you have to have these 18 units, which are included in the program layout that we'll go over later. And you would be eligible to receive this certification from the Department of Health or the state, correct? Is that right? Okay, good. And so what this does is it's going to give you, in the program as you go through it and you get the certification, you're also going to be exposed to something, to field experience. That's part of this second semester of the program. And this field experience is going to give you the ability to gain enough, I guess, hours of experience in order to become eligible to take this Certified Dietary Manager exam. Because that is a requirement of that. So that is sort of like the second certification that you could get inside of this program. There's also a third, one of the classes, it's a Nutrition 44, I believe, that you can go through and you'll be getting your Serve Safe Manager certification as well. So there are potentially 3 certifications for this program that you can get just by going through it. And just to kind of hit on that middle part there, so this program is very versatile. So just what I'm saying right now, that isn't even all it is. This program can get you to transfer if you want to go really big. You can get your degree from Merced College. You can get what I've been talking about, the DSS or the Certified Dietary Manager Certificate. Or even if you just have some skills and maybe you're working somewhere and they say you need to have the certification or you need your sort of steak manager or something, you could get that through here. And Michelle, did you want to talk a little bit about anything that I didn't touch on or anything on the bottom there about what you might learn?
Sure. You really learned a lot, Ethan. You just covered everything. Just like, okay, well, I guess I won't say that. I won't say that because so I appreciate that you've learned so much about our program. So yeah, I would say, I mean, we've been around for a long time. This dietetic service supervisor certificate is known among the different like skilled nursing facilities, hospitals. So they're really good jobs that people don't typically think as their first choice jobs. They come and they want to be in a culinary program. So we do teach cooking. So as you see at the bottom, we talk about nutrition a lot, healthy meals, as well as fun, non-healthy meals. We look at buying ingredients, just like you said, all the things a supervisor would do, which would be to train your employees, to order the food, to do your inventory, to prepare the food, to know how to produce it safely. A lot of our emphasis is on food safety. So I would say that's a big key role that you'll get in all of our classes. And it's skills that you can use on your own too at home. So it's not just for your career, but your personal life. So, and I'll expand more when we talk about all the classes.
Yes. And Michelle, you know what? There was a question in the chat and I know you know the answer. So they asked, is this program required for a nursing major? I know that nursing majors, they're recommended for some of these, right?
Right. Okay. So are required to take Nutrition 10, which is not in this one certificate program, but it is one of our offerings. And we offer 7 or 8 courses every semester, even in the summer. So that is a prerequisite for nursing and allied health majors. In addition, we have that Nutrition 45, which is Introduction to Nutrition Therapy. And that class is recommended to nurses, people who are already in the program, needing to fulfill their full-time requirements for financial aid. So the counselor, and I'm just blanking out on her name. Boy, this COVID is really, COVID brain. I'm home. I saw her the other day. Hepcot. I'm sorry. Sue. Yes, I blanked out on her first name. I see her at spin class all the time. Sue is awesome because she is the one who assisted me in preparing this class to make it, the nutrition therapy, make it adaptable for both our nutrition students as well as nursing students. So you learn a lot of good information. So other than that, for nursing, I mean, there's nothing that you have to have in this program. I think it's all beneficial because as a nurse, you will always be asked, how can I eat? What should I eat? What can I not have? So nutrition is a really important course and base for you to follow.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So, and then, so Michelle kind of hit on all those things at the bottom there. So it's a broad range of things. It's not just about cooking. You know what I mean? There's so many things that go into it. And so, let's talk about it. Let's go forward a little bit. Kind of see blabbermouth. There we go. So we're going to hit on that topic in a little bit. So what I would like to talk about is kind of just a little bit about some options for taking these classes, about how it works, this new fast track option, how it's working and kind of what that entails. So if you see on the left side, you want to get it done fast, it's totally possible in this program. This program is designed, and it's been designed in a way to be done in 2 semesters. So in case you're not familiar, a semester is about 5 months. So spring will be January to May, and a fall semester is August till December. There is a summer term, but we don't include that in this pathway. And so the way that it's working right now, so okay, this is kind of, that middle bullet's a little crazy. So right now, pretty much everything is online, right? It's all online classes, and I don't even know how they're doing that. That's got to be like a little, crazy thing to try to teach these subjects online, but they're doing it. In person, there's labs, there's a full kitchen thing, right? I see, this is how new I am. I don't even know. And you would normally be there, but we'll go into that a little bit. But just so you know, it's mostly online. But in case you're coming in the future and we are back in person, let's say, know that this schedule for this program is very, very accommodating. So in the fall, when you would start, it's only Monday through Wednesday from 8 to 2. Which is a very, very, that's extremely accommodating because most programs we have go at least 4 days a week. Some go 5. So this is only 3 days a week and it's only 8 to 2. So that's a great, great schedule, which leaves a lot of time. Even if you wanted to do fast track, you could still maybe work, do whatever other commitments you have. And then in the spring, you can see It's only, you get Monday and Fridays off. So it would have been, the tentative schedule was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 to 4. So again, you would have that super long weekend, you could work and do things like that. So this program is kind of unique in that way, in that you don't have that really kind of intense full-time job feel to it, where you're in the class from 8 to 4, Monday through Thursday, you know, and maybe even Friday. So that's a big thing. And then also in the fast track program worth mentioning, which I kind of already did, is you got us, right? The dedicated support team to help you. This is not a typical thing that programs offer on our campus. We of course have plenty of support services available, but we do not necessarily have dedicated support teams who are here to specifically for you. So that is a huge, huge plus. I feel that we are underutilized by a lot of people, and I think it's just, you know, people just, they don't know. And so that's why I really try to push that. You know, we are here for you, and please do use us. And I would like to say, just because it came to my mind, and I can't go without mentioning it, that Ms. Paganino is extremely good at noticing when people need support, and she has been referring them to us. And so, like, hats off seriously to that, because that is not something that all instructors will do. And it goes to show just how engaged she is with her program and her students. And so serious, that is a big compliment to you, because that doesn't happen a lot. So something to think about as well, a caring instructor. Imagine that. Okay, and so let's say you're not into it. It's just like, whoa, I can't, you know, I can't even do that. I need to work a full-time job. I cannot go during these times. On the right side, you know, you can slow it down, and that's totally, totally fine. Just take a few classes. The way that we have these classes set up is that we have them split so that there are so many people that can get into the fast track, and then there are so many people, like a few more, that can get into just these regular kind of alternate sections. So you can go at your own pace. Do it to make it fit your schedule. You know, take one class, take two classes, however works for you, at whatever pace, you can definitely still do that. And another unique feature about this program is that there are some classes that are offered in both spring and fall term, which is not something that happens in some of our other programs, like, let's say, let's not say, because I can't think of one. But rest assured that there are some classes or some programs that do not offer classes in both terms, and you are kind of locked out if you don't get in the fall. So this is kind of unique in that way, that you can be flexible. And you still get access to us, the dedicated support team, even if you're in one of those alternate sections. So moving on from there, I kind of already alluded to this. So just what you see here, I had to create this because we actually didn't have a schedule for spring, because it's 100% online. But this is how it would look pretty much if we were doing in-person classes. So you can see there on the top of this chart is the day, and on the left side are the times. And you see, you'd just be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, a very stable and predictable 8 to about 4 o'clock. That's a great schedule. I would love that. That would be wonderful to have, like, what is that, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a 4-day weekend every time. Very flexible, again, that this program is, even in the future, if you're not coming till next year. And another thing worth mentioning that this program is unique in its way is that these programs, or I'm sorry, the classes inside the program mostly run a full term. So that would be a full 18-week term, which is kind of unusual for our fast track programs. Most of our fast track programs would have these classes split up, so you would be taking many more classes, but they would be shorter term. So over a 3, 6, or maybe an 8-week period, and you'd be taking multiple classes. This one, I think a big benefit is that it's going to be a more steady, a calmer pace. So you're not going to be sped up in those other fast track programs where it's kind of accelerated. And one other important thing to know is that financial aid is available for this program. So all these programs that we have here are full-time. This one is full-time with at least 12 units per semester. So you will be able to be eligible for a full-time financial aid package if you do enroll. Uh-oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, and so here we go with the course breakdown. So I am really, really going to lean on Ms. Pecanino for some of this, just to kind of go in, because like I said, I'm kind of new to this program, so I don't know all the details, but I know that she does. So what I would just like to kind of point out is that you can see here in your first semester, this is the kind of, these are the classes that you would take. And I have them listed here in the order that you would actually take them. But again, most of these classes are 18 weeks, so you're taking them all at the same time. But you can see here, some of the subjects you would learn, like, you'd be learning about baking, you'll be learning again about that management side of it, the food service management, safety and sanitation. That's like super important, right? You don't want to like give yourself E. coli, all right? These are the kinds of things you're going to be learning, cross-contamination and all those things that are super important, things that we might take for granted that we don't realize are being done. And then like some very interesting courses like Cuisine of the World. I would love to take that class. That's a new one, and I think that would be very exciting. But I'm gonna let you go, Michelle. Do you want to take some of these away and maybe just highlight a few of them?
Sure. Thank you.
Mhm.
So being our first time doing the fast track, we tried to figure out what's the best grouping of courses. So that's why you see, it looks like there's more classes in the fall or the first semester. And that's really because a lot of them are introductory. So one of the first ones, that we want to look at is the principles of food. That's nutrition 20, and that is transfer level. So if someone's considering transferring to a four-year school to become a dietitian, to get your bachelor's degree, that is a course required in that program as well. Very much science-based. It's lab and lecture. Mrs. Hobbs typically teaches it. And yes, it's been a challenge with COVID, but we've tried to, our foods instructors have bought ingredients, and very carefully we set up the classroom. We have an assistant who then portions them out, and then we have different times that students come in and pick up their food. So we've been making it work. It's not been easy, a little more work and a little more money to be able to do this, but we feel like it's really critical. And what's been so nice about it is that students are applying these skills at home. So it's not just being done in a lab. You're actually cooking at home and learning the principles. You're uploading your videos of foods you're making or pictures of foods you're making, and that's how they're being, reviewed. So Nutrition 25 was brand new this fall. I taught it. It was 9 weeks, the first 9 weeks, Intro to Nutrition and Food Careers. I think through the years we have felt that students weren't quite sure what they wanted to do, something related to foods, but not really quite sure what it was going to be. So I was so fortunate, I guess maybe again, I have to find good things out of COVID, is that I had so many alum and other professionals in the community that were willing and able to be guest speakers. So they came into our course either pre-recorded or live, and students were able to talk to them and find out their stories. So that was really helpful, and to get a better idea of what's out there related to foods and nutrition. One example is culinology, and I don't know if anyone's heard of that, but culinology is a study, it's kind of combining culinary arts and science together to create new products that are more healthy and beautifully presented. And the industry is really looking for this. This is definitely something in the future. It's packaging of foods. And I made a really good connection at Fresno State. So they have a program which is just an hour away. So I'm really hoping to develop ours more so we can have all the prerequisites in line so students can get an AST and get over there to Fresno with that program. Nutrition therapy, I also teach it. I taught it the first 9 weeks. This is where we mentioned earlier where we might have nursing students in there. And it's really a good mixture of nursing students as well as our foods and nutrition students. Here we do case studies. You learn about a diet for diabetes, a diet for cardiovascular disease, cancer, and what does it take, or a renal diet, a kidney diet. And so what kinds of things to avoid, what kinds of things to include. And so it's really good pertinent stuff that people can use on a personal level as well as in your careers. Nutrition 50 is just plain fun. It's baking. I created this class probably 5 years ago, Baking Basics in Business, because so many students have come to us, and this is when cupcakes were really popular, wanting to start a cupcake business, but didn't really have a clue as to what does it take. So we've been trying to make a curriculum, a course that's fun, but as well as teaching you how to cost out. How much did those cupcakes cost you? And what are you going to have to charge in order to make a profit with your overhead cost and your food costs? So I have a really dynamic baking instructor. She started this semester, God bless her. And, to be a baker and then teach online is quite a challenge, but, we're getting through it. So in the future, we can see ourselves offering it online as well as hopefully a face-to-face, back in the classroom. Nutrition 40 is management. So it's a 3-unit course. It's all semester, and it really focuses on all the aspects of management that have to be considered. And I have a professional adjunct instructor who's really versed at this information and knows how to teach it, because she's living it, she's doing it every day. And then the food safety, we can't stress enough. And I just did the certification exam. That's a 9-week course. It was the second 9 weeks, and they take an exam at the end. And like you were saying, Ethan, they can get a certificate there along the way. So that's the first semester. Second semester, we have a sports and exercise nutrition taught by Mrs. Hobbs. And that's currently for the sports trainer position too, for the certificate in that area, but also in our area. We feel like we want you to be really balanced, can we say?
Yeah.
Really versed in a lot of different things. And so it's not just for athletes, but it's also talking about everyday exercise, physical activity, and the benefits of it as related to nutrition and the study of all the nutrients. Culture and cuisine is brand new. I'm going to be teaching it. It's an 18-week course, and it's mostly lecture, but a little bit of lab. So I'm just starting to put together my labs now of all the different flavor profiles, health concerns, food availability in different parts of the country. We're just going to study different areas and kind of look at how our food comes together and brings us together. And then nutrition 37 is field experience. That one's a whole, that's like our final capstone course of our program. It requires 150 hours of field experience time. So I'm really struggling with this one a bit because of COVID, but typically you'd be placed in a school setting and also in a healthcare setting, and you go and you work. After all the things that you've learned, you go and apply them, and you get some experience trying to fit in and see what a supervisor really does. So some of it's going to be virtual, I'll say, this spring, and some is going to be hands-on. So it just depends on the facility and how we are in a couple of months with the state. And then 42 is food production, and that's a lot of fun. Mrs. Goodwin is currently teaching it. It's lab and lecture. She's doing some dynamic things with, again, online teaching. Typically, we would be doing catering events and learning how to quantify recipes. So on campus, we would be hired for an event of 50 people. And so I have leads that have to plan the menu. They have to hire all their labor, which are their fellow students, and plan the whole function out. Look at the menu and the cost and the layout of how you're going to prepare the food and present it. So
Yeah.
hopefully that gives you a nice layout of our courses.
That's awesome. Yeah, isn't that amazing how many things just go? It just every time it blows my mind just how humans, I don't know, it's really amazing how everything comes together and all the different aspects that you have to think about. There's like a job for everybody. There really is. There's a job for everybody. There's just something for everybody. You know, I like me, I'm a basic person. So I love the Food Network, right? I watch Food Network and I learned so many things through there. But I just looking at these things, it'd be really interesting because you're probably going to learn like what do ingredients do, right? Like how do they interact with each other, and what's its function in a recipe, and like food safety and sanitation, right? I know I've gotten my ServSafe food handler card before, and you know, you learn things about when bacteria grows and like, you know, and I know we all have that friend who leaves the pizza in the box in the oven overnight and then eats it the next day, probably, right? There are people who okay. We all know somebody who will do that, and like, so you learn like why that's gross. And and so this is a really great, I love this curriculum. I think this is really interesting. And then the supervised field experience, that's awesome. Hopefully that can come together because what a great experience. You know, it's fun. It sounds really fun to me, this program. So no, thank you so much for your breakdown there. That's way better than I ever could have done. But okay, so let's talk a little bit about some certificates and degrees you can get in this program and even beyond. So you can see on the top there that the dietetic service supervisor that is sort of like the culmination of this program, right? Along the way, you will, if you pass everything and you know, pass the exams, you can pick up the ServSafe Manager certification, which is not your, like I just said, the food handler certification. That's the one that you get if you work like in food, right? Like if you work at Baskin Robbins, probably you have to have it, or McDonald's or something. You probably have to have that. ServSafe Manager is different. It's a higher level, more, you know, a more rigorous testing, and that's a better certificate to have, right? It makes you more desirable. So, and along the way, like we've been talking about, the 150 hours of field experience will allow you to sit for the CDM, the Certified Dietary Manager exam, which is approved by the Association of Food and Nutrition Professionals, or something like that.
That's
okay,
right.
good.
You got it.
So this is a big deal. You know, these are real good certifications that if you're going into the biz, are a great thing to have. So, and again, you can get this in just 2 semesters. So,
can I add something here, Ethan?
yes.
The CDM, they sound alike because the curriculum is alike, but the dietetic service supervisor is recognized in California. The CDM is recognized nationwide and has a wonderful network. And this is why I went after the certificate a couple years ago, because it provides networking for jobs. It provides continuing education. They've been great support, especially even for professionals, for anyone in the field, because it really helps us to see what's going on. How is everyone dealing with COVID right now? So it's a great support network in that respect. So I really, really am happy that we have this to offer now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for students to be able to pursue this other certificate.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. That's a big one, a national certification. I'm going to talk about why later. So,
Okay.
and then from there, you actually, okay, so in this program, the DSS, Dietetic Service Program, is actually less units than what you're going to be taking in the fast track program. So the program has actually been built, correct me if I'm wrong, but it includes many of the classes that you would need for the nutrition and foods certificate. And from there, you only need, like, based off the classes that you take in nutrition and foods, you would only need just a few more, right? A few more classes to actually get the nutrition and foods certificate. So that is something that you can build up on top of if you wanted to. And like, so great, a couple certificates are really nice, Ethan, but what if, like, I want to go big, like, this is what I love, like, I want to go all the way, I need it all, I need all of these things. Okay, well, you can start, because you can get an associate degree too, right? In nutrition and foods, there is an associate degree option. So it can grow on top of that. And the only difference is that you would have to add on all your general education, right? So your math and your English and your area, like history and other classes that you would need for your general education. That it can grow into that very easily. So if you find yourself at the end of the certificate program going, I want to go all the way, well, then by all means, go all the way. Or even when you're in there, because as you noticed, you have a lot of, I would say, free time. So you can add on other classes while you're doing this, and it would be not overwhelming compared to some other programs, which could be overwhelming. But guess what? It doesn't even end there. This one I don't even know about, because I have not promoted this one, but I'm going to tell you there is an AST, which means an Associate in Science for Transfer, which is a degree that guarantees you, if you receive this, you will get guaranteed admission into, I want to say, CSUs. And that's what this Nutrition and Dietetics Associate for Transfer degree is for. It is, I know you have to add in some extra science courses. There are some extra requirements that you need to have. But this is what you would be getting if you wanted to go really big and go all the way to, like, Fresno State, or Davis, or somewhere like that, because it would prepare you for those programs there to get, like, your bachelor's degree, right, Michelle? Is there anything I'm missing?
Yes, exactly. So most of our students go into Fresno State because they can commute easily, but Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo has a program. Sac State does, and then UC Davis. So the AST is for those who definitely know that's where they want to be, where they want to go. The classes that you would take here would be Nutrition 10 and 20, and then also the food safety course. And then the rest is all anatomy, physiology, lots of chemistry, which I really encourage you to take at Merced College, because we have awesome science instructors, and to get the price to take, to get a good education at our community college, and then take those units with you when you transfer. So yes, definitely something, if you know that's the route you want to go.
Yes, and we'll talk about price in just a minute.
Okay.
Coming up, yeah. So one thing I did want to talk about a little bit is, like, okay, this is great, Ethan, but, like, what does this mean for me? Like, what am I going to be doing if I get this certificate or certifications, And so what I wanted to do is just kind of give you, this is just a brief overview, okay? Because, like I said, I'm a blabbermouth, so I don't want to go too much into this. But as you can see, so these are some of the more common titles that we would expect if you were to receive this certificate that you would get hired into, potentially. So you see there's a food service worker, there's a dietary aide, food service manager you might go into if you have a little experience. And you can see now these are actual wages that I pulled. This is a California wage right now. So, some of these, like dietary aide, $17.55, that's just a mean. So the mean meaning middle. It's the middle wage. So at the 50% mark. So there's more people, there's like 50% people higher and 50% lower or whatever. So you could potentially be making a lot more on this. It just depends on where you go and, how much experience you have and everything like that. But this certificate program will get you the skills you need to qualify for something like this. And a couple of things I would like to point out on here is look at the job growth. I mean, that's like, wow. That's a lot. Usually when I go, so I collect this data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because math, yes, Manda, she's in the chat. Yes, so that job growth is, I've never even seen a 10% before. That was like the fastest growth I've ever seen. And we all know we can probably attribute that to typical things that we hear, like aging population. You know, as people get older, they need to potentially be cared for. And we were talking about care facilities as one place that you could be employed. So that's why you see some of these things are going a lot faster than usual. And let's face it, everybody's, you know, everybody's got to eat. Everybody's got to eat, right? You want to talk about like, you know, job, what do they call that? Job security, stability. You got to eat. Look how many jobs there are in the United States. Just on those two cook and food service worker, that's millions of jobs. This is a large field, and there will always be work. So something to think about, that is, if you have a passion or even an interest in this, there is an opportunity. Like I said, there is always a job for everybody. There's just so many things that need to be done that we don't realize because we're not in the biz.
And
So
something I want to add here, if
yes.
it's okay too, Ethan, is like the food service manager, what I'm really excited about is these positions would also have benefits. And I know at a student level, we're not always thinking about benefits, but that's huge. And these are great hours. Normally you're supervising. So you're going to be, you know, in a hospital setting, they have to eat 24/7, but you as a supervisor would typically have a Monday through Friday kind of schedule. You might rotate weekends, but that's really desirable when you're considering the versus the culinary world, which is very exciting, but in a restaurant, there's not always going to be benefits and there's not always going to be daytime hours. So, I mean, it's nice to be able to have something that takes your passion and you can do both with and have some really good pay and benefits.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And on the flip side, you know, there's also that flexibility too. If you're like, I don't even care, I want to work, you know, these late nights and things like that, you know, not all jobs can do that. I can't do that. You know, so well, I can work late nights, but I don't get paid for it. So you know what I mean? There's something, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes, benefits are extremely important in this day and age. So yeah, take that to heart. But just quickly, because I know I'm watching the time, you guys. So that map on the right, and this is something to stress, and I kind of alluded to it again earlier, is you know, we are a tiny little thing. I don't think you can see my mouse on there, but we are this little county right there. It's like a green county. But do you notice that, like on this map, this is the entire United States, right? So you can get these skills and you can go anywhere you want. If you're just like the Central Valley is, bleh, I don't like it. I don't like California. The taxes are too high, whatever. You can go somewhere else if that's your prerogative and you want to go. And there will be employment anywhere in this country for you or in the world. So definitely think about that. Michelle, do you have a success story off the top of your head?
Yes, I do. And I had a hard time when you asked me about that. I thought, oh my gosh, I've got a few success stories, but we've had students that have come back, have become dietitians. So I'm going to give you that level. And I have one gentleman who was one of my students, and now he's a dietitian at the prison in Chowchilla, and he's the clinical dietitian. So making good money. It's very valuable position and good benefits, and he's very happy. And he likes to tell us and share with us. He always comes back to the school. Gerardo, he is a dietitian now he's in the NICU, neonatal intensive care unit at Fresno Community Hospital as a dietitian, and same kind of, you know, story, just worked really hard to get where he's at. And then I have Evan, who's in Atwater, and he's a CDM, a certified dietary manager, running their program. And just, you know, huge challenges. I've talked with him periodically the last 9 months, and just all the things they've had to do to really try to keep their patients and themselves safe, and dealing with COVID and dispersing of meals. And so I just, you know, and then I thought of one more student, Julia. She is at the CIA right now, Culinary Institute of America, because that was her dream, to go to culinary school. So she got through our program and did some really phenomenal things here with us. And now she might be in her second year. So I have to follow up with her. She was in Hawaii doing some of her internship probably about a year ago. And so I thought, oh, how cool. So yes, we have a variety of students that move on from here and do some different amazing things.
Yeah. Paradise, Hawaii. Doesn't that sound nice, everybody?
Yeah, it does right now.
I like the cold, but all right. So there you go. So there's some, you know, this real people going through the program. This is happening for real. This is real. This is not just some kind of weird fantasy that we're all here trying to peddle. This is real stuff that is changing people's lives and can help you too if you're interested. So I'm going to breeze through many of these slides because I know I'm short on time. So I do want to talk about this a little bit. You know what? I dug as hard as I could. I tried, but I could not find anything. Usually what I do is I compare like a trade school with Merced College. But the nutrition program it was really hard to find something that was really comparable. I want it to be exact, not like some weird thing. So the best I could do is this. If you're thinking um, of going all the way and you want to go straight to like a 4-year school, what I'm going to do is tell you why you should never do that or why you should consider not doing that. Because what I've got here is actually, I just pulled this is real, real data from UC Davis. They have a dietetics program there, I think is what it was called. And as you can see on this top line, all this other stuff doesn't matter so much, but this tuition and fees, this is how much you're going to pay per year. And you have to go for 4 years to get your degree. So per year, to just get your name onto the class roster. That's it. This doesn't include your books. That doesn't include anything. That's just to get your name on the roster so that you were in the class, okay? $14,597 per year. So that's like $8,000 almost per semester. Wow, that's like a lot of money. So, and you're gonna, let's face it, you're probably gonna be having to pay for rent and all those things. So wow, like how are you gonna pay for this? It's a lot of money. There is financial aid available, of course, at the UC system. I don't want to drag them or trash them in any way. They do a lot to help people, but it is going to be more expensive because at Merced College, this program, the whole program is going to cost you $1,200, right? And the whole thing is that financial aid here is going to probably cover every single penny of it because 85% or even more of our students who apply here are eligible for financial aid. And Merced College gave out over $28 million last year. So I'm talking you would have to pay nothing, okay? Even on that $15,000 with UC, you're still gonna have to pay something out of pocket because you can only get so much free money. Then you're gonna have to go to loans. This Merced College I'm talking about, this is free. You might even benefit financially by getting a disbursement, like a refund of money to you. So you would do this because you would be getting your undergraduate work done here, which is like your first 2 years, getting a comparable education for like literally a fraction of the cost, a small fraction. So definitely consider that if you're thinking of going all the way. But even if you were interested just in doing the certificate program and not going all the way, you're still probably not going to pay anything for it because it's probably going to be free. So asterisk though, there's always exceptions. So how are you going to get this for free? If you're in high school right now, and I'm sure you know, but if you graduate high school and you come to Merced College for the first time, and you are a full-time student, which you would be in this program because it's over 12 units, then your first 2 years are free. The end. Like period, the end. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That is all you have to do is just get enrolled and it's free. So that's a program that's available through California State. This is not in every state. And all you have to do, like I said, is be enrolled in 12 units, do your FAFSA, which is your financial aid application, or do your CADA, which is your DREAM Act application. And that's it. It's automatic. And if you have already been to Merced College, or you know somebody who has, or you want to do it, let's say, and you are not eligible for that first time full-time free, well, guess what? There's something exactly like it for people in that situation. And so this is called the California College Promise Grant, which does exactly the same thing of waiving all the enrollment fees. The only difference is that it's based off of income. So if you apply, they're going to do all kinds of complicated math in the background on your financial aid application, and they're going to look at it and say, okay, he falls within the range, approved, and they're going to pay all your fees. That's it. And that's pretty much how it goes. So all you have to do, again, is just do your financial aid application, do your DREAM Act application, and financial aid is going to figure it out for you. But this will pay all of those $15,000 fees that I talked about back here, the equivalent. It's going to pay all of that. Okay, yeah, Ethan, whatever. I don't qualify. I know. My parents make too much money. They're balling, and I'm not even going to apply. And I hear it every single day. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't apply, you are just shooting yourself in the foot, because I have had more people than I can count on these 10 fingers, which look not like 10 fingers on there, but I can count more than that they didn't want to apply, but I encouraged them to, and they did. And guess what? They really were eligible. And they were not just eligible to have the fees waived, but they were actually eligible for money to be given to them to assist them in their schooling for their books or their car or gas, whatever. So don't sell yourself short. Always apply. The worst they can tell you is no. just to go through. So like, let's just say you do all this stuff and you really don't qualify, then as you can see, there's a list. We have so many things available to help you. There are scholarships that are not based on your need. We have student grants right now for up to $300 that can help you with your textbooks or your supplies, because in here you will need to buy some materials that you'll need in the lab and things like that. If you don't have a computer, you're going to need one for this class right now. We have a laptop loaner program, brand new laptops straight out of the box, that will get you through here, and you get to keep as long as you are enrolled. The textbooks, the textbooks are available at the Merced College Library more than likely. So the library keeps what's called a reserve, and you can have them make copies of the chapters if you're really in a tough spot and you need to have books, you need to do your assignments. They can do that for you. And WorkNet of Merced County, there you are. WorkNet of Merced County, we have Erica with us today. They can also assist you with your textbooks, your supplies, any required elements of your program, depending, as long as you qualify and you apply to WorkNet and go through their whole process there. They just have a little process. You go through orientation and some other things. But if you are approved, then they can help you with this as well. And that's not all they do there. They also do career advising. They do resume workshops. They'll help you with mock interviews. They're like the #1 job stop there. So definitely think about that. There's so many resources. This is just some of them. I couldn't fit them all on a slide if I tried. And if all else fails, you can always do a payment plan. You can set that up with student fees, and you can make payments over a certain amount of time to pay your fees, so it's more manageable. So there are options for everybody. It's rare that you would need to make a payment plan. I don't think I've ever, very rarely seen that. Okay, so really, really quickly, what are the advantages again of the Fast Track program? So let me tell you this, because I didn't mention it, but the Fast Track program, our goal is to get you into school. We want to get you skills and get you educated, and then we would like, ideally, for you to go out and get a job. That is our overarching goal of the whole program. So that's what we focus our services on. We do that by having a dedicated CTE counselor. Her name is Araceli. Again, she's bomb.com. She knows the programs like the back of her hand. She has been doing this for years, and she knows all of the steps required to get you in and out and support you. So she is there for you specifically, and she knows so many, like all of her students. She knows them. I bring up a name and she knows who it is. So she's got it going on. The shorter time to completion, of course, these courses are accelerated. So you will be in and out in a faster time than you could be if you were not in a fast track program, right? The stackable certificates, that's the dietetic service supervisor, that's the ServSafe manager, that's the CDM. All those are stackable certificates. So you can leave with 3 in just 1 year. So that's unusual. Many programs you have to go for a longer time. Keep that in mind. You can get these accelerated programs and get more certifications, which looks better on your resume, right? You have all these certifications. Places are like, we're going to hire you because you rock. You're a superstar. So the other part that we do, we provide career services workshops. So again, we want you to get a job. So we know that out of high school, maybe you've never been to an interview before. Maybe you have never made a resume. So we have workshops to help you build a resume, build a cover letter, do some mock interviews in a safe space so we can give you critiques and let you know what you need to maybe work on or anything like that, or what you did well. We have those usually on Fridays because, as you can see, most programs are not having class on Friday. Even during coronavirus, which is really, just, it's not cool. We still do them virtually, and we want to be sure to get as many people assisted as possible. Because at the end of this all, Autumn, who I mentioned on the first slide, she is connected with local agencies, local employers. And if she hears of something and she knows that you're really great and you've gone to all these workshops and you have a resume, she's going to put your name to the top of the list to get you, to kind of get your foot in the door. Okay, so that's why it's all these things are connected and they all work together so that we can get you to the end result of getting you educated and getting you employed so that you can get on with your life and, start making a good life for yourself. So, and well, I didn't do instructor involvement beyond instruction. Well, hello, do you see Michelle here? Yeah. So here you go. This is a perfect example of it, right? These instructors, they're not just here to read a book and regurgitate it to you, right? They're here to support you. Michelle reaches out to me frequently, with students who might be struggling, and I appreciate that, because that makes my job worthwhile, and it helps me to do my job. So those are the kind of people that we have in these programs, and you don't always get that. So something special. Okay, so we're pretty much done here. So, if you're interested in nutrition, now this is not a Merced College kitchen. I had to lift this off the internet. I know it would be nice, but we do have a lab, right? And so we have something similar to this, where you can go in and you do your work. Or correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I've ever been up there, Michelle. But they do have something like this, and it is something that once we get back on campus, you will be able to do. For now, it's your own home stove, sorry. If you want any information, or I didn't mention anything, please call me or email me, or anybody on the next slide. Do research on your own. If you're still not sure, go look at jobs like this. Like, what are they looking for? What do these people do? I can't go over all the requirements. What does a dietary manager do every day? Go look at a job description. See if this sounds like something you might like to do, or look on YouTube. That's what I do. So, but if you need help, just call me and I'll help you out. And finally, in case you didn't get our information, please take a second to just take a screenshot or write down a phone number or an email. I know I can see the chat going wild over there. I don't know what's going on. I just see it moving around. So definitely I can see Michelle's emails in there. That's great. I'm happy for that. So reach out to us and let us know if we can help you. That's what we are here for. We get paid to do this, and I love doing this. So let your friends know, anybody who likes food. And I think with that, that's pretty much all I've got, you guys. So does anybody have any questions I didn't go over, or would like a little more information on Merced College or the nutrition program?
Do fast track programs give you the certificate once you're done with the classes, or do you need to take a separate test and then earn the certificate? Very good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, so the fast track programs, no, it's just like regular school. The only difference when we say fast track, it just means it's accelerated. So the way you get a certificate is you have to take certain classes, right? There's a book, and it says exactly what classes you have to take. And as long as you pass all those classes with a C or better, then you are eligible for the certificate. So that's how that works. So if you complete all these nutrition classes with a C or better, then you will get the certificate regardless. Now the Serve Safe one, that's a little different, because it's a separate test that is done through another agency, right? And so you have to pass their test. And if you don't pass it, then you wouldn't get the certification, but you just retake the test, right? Until you pass it.
So yesterday, I actually administered that one yesterday. It's the final exam for Nutrition 44. And so those students who choose to take it, take the exam, I proctor it, and the students who pass, we print out their certificate within a day.
Oh,
and
right there. Oh, okay.
And it's good for 3 years in the county. And then if you happen to not pass, then we offer them students the opportunity to retake the test within about a month. So we want you to pass that one as you move along in the program. So we'll retest. The other two certificates, like Ethan said, once you've completed the coursework, then at our campus, you apply for a certificate, your transcripts are reviewed, and then you earn that at the end of the program.
Think of the certificate as sort of like your diploma. So it's another name for your diploma. So
exactly. Yeah, it's just another word for it. So no, you don't need to take a separate test. You get it by the hard work that you do while you're in the program getting straight A's.